Now let's move down to the flowers. There's several things I can do. I could use that watercolor layer again like I did here and put something over it to change the value. Or I can use, let's see, there is a saturation brush that I have that I can use on the duplicate layer here. And let's try and see what that does. It's going to darken a little bit. Trying to make that second row not quite as strong. Okay. I don't like what it did underneath the flowers there. I can eliminate that by just clicking on my delete brush, and it's right back. Let me see if I make the brush a little bit smaller and try to stick with just the white, because it's really the white that's bothering me, or the very light color there. That's better. That kind of sets them back a little bit from the front row. And in traditional oils, this would be similar to putting a glaze on it, like I did here with the watercolor layer, just to tone it down. Okay, now that feels better. Now the only thing I don't like is these feel very cloned, and I'm trying to think. It also feels like I'm blocking the pathway. So I've got to do something with that. I've got to think about that. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer again because I like what I've done with the second row of flowers. All right, and actually I'm going to label these. I'll put that as duplicate 2. And this one should be duplicate 1. That way it'll help me so I don't get confused with, this is what we started out with, this is the first changes I made, and now we're going to make some more changes here. Now this duplicate layer has the changes there, so I want to make sure I work on there. And I am going to, what am I going to do? Okay, I think I'm going to take the worn bristle brush. I'm going to pick up some of the green that I have in the grass here. You can see the brush is very tiny, so I'm going to enlarge it. And when I first start painting with it, like I said, it will put down the color, but then it'll become a blender. Now it didn't put any color down, mainly I think because I only have, if you look up top, I only have 13% saturation. So these are all, well, I'll leave that one. Let me, opacity. Let me bring the opacity up. And this will be the green. All right, now it's starting to come in. Now, just like oils, it will smear around. No, just keep picking up the color underneath. I want to bring some green into this, so I have to keep picking the brush up and adding paint to it to do that. And this is starting to look like what it looked like as the underpainting. I don't know if you can notice in some of these areas where there's just flat color, and that's how my underpainting was. We're picking up some white from the edge. Let me make the brush bigger. Make sure we're on that. I'm going to lighten that green just a little bit. Let me see if I can lay down a little bit more green. That's better. So if I was doing a traditional painting, I would be just covering up what I did. I probably would have scraped off some of the paint prior to it. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in there. And I'm going to add some of the pinks that I had in there. Maybe a little bit lighter, like that. And then I'm going to turn the opacity way down so that I can use it as a blender. Okay. All right. Actually, that's starting to feel better. I wonder if I just put one thing here, if that would work. We'll try it. In the meantime, I'm going to save this so that I don't lose what I've done. And I'm going to save it under the same name. All right, and I'm going to go to the Wild Thing brush. And I'm going to set that at its default setting, which that's pretty big. Let me pick up one of the greens again. Well, try again. I might have to go up in there. You see how sensitive that thing is. Now, the wild brush will put down dabs of color, which is kind of neat. So that everything doesn't come out looking the same. I probably should bring this in so you can see. I can set this so that it will do dark and light. I can make it so more dark ones will come in, or I can turn it back down where it was. I can also bring it up so it brings in different colors. That's kind of good. Let me see if I go side to side with it, what it does. I don't like that color. Let's bring that back down. See, leaving it down and dragging it gives less blotches and more solid colors. Let me bring over here. I want to add in some darker things over here and there and here. Okay. Now let's pick up some of this red, and I'm going to put the darker color down first. Now the decision. You know what? I'm going to save it again because I can always go back then. Because I like what I have it as the underpainting right now. And then if I don't like this change here, okay, I'm going to add in color there. Let's bring it up a little bit lighter. I think we need a little bit in between back here. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and now we're going to try and pick up some of this light color. Good, okay. Let's see. I'm going to undo that. That's the advantage. I don't. It's a little too intense. So I want to bring down the opacity, maybe down to 50%. Let's see how that looks. That's better. It's not so strong. But, well, because of how bright this is, maybe that has to be just a little bit brighter. Now let's bring it up about to 70. Oops. Oh, I'm not quite happy with it, so let's see if I can subtract some of it. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to close it, say no, reopen it. Okay, let me move that over a bit. Whoops. Actually, I think I like it like that, without that other cluster here. I think I have to add some other yellows and greens and a little bit of blue. So I'm still on the wild thing, and I believe the blue that I used was this. And let's see what. Nope, too strong. Bring that down. I just want hints of colors, but putting a little bit of blue down in here brings harmony in, because it brings the sky together. Probably that should be a little bit lighter. Yeah, it looks like little bits of flowers. Now let's get some of this yellow here, and put a few dabs here. That could possibly be, let's throw in a little green. We need some more green like this over here, don't we? It's always hard when you patch things up to get things to carry through. Yeah, that's starting to look like I didn't do anything to change it. Okay. I think I'm going to call it quits for now. I'm going to save it. And I think that's what it's going to be. I feel a little bit better there. I can always make some other changes, but I do feel better now about that. And I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and we'll see you again.